Hello students, I am Sucheta Pararikar, teacher in physics, Ferguson College, Pune 4. We have already seen some concepts in the topic thermodynamics. Let us learn today few more concepts by using the smartboard. Today we have to see about thermodynamic equilibrium. So if the system is in mechanical equilibrium, chemical equilibrium and thermal equilibrium, then we can say that the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium. Now let us study the first equilibrium, that is the mechanical equilibrium. Now you have seen about the mechanical equilibrium in 11th standard, the topic statics, the article statics. So what is mechanical equilibrium? When there are no unbalanced forces within the system and between the system and its surrounding, the system is said to be in mechanical equilibrium. The system is also said to be in mechanical equilibrium if the pressure throughout the system and its surrounding is the same. So I think you know about the mechanical equilibrium, the first condition of equilibrium of a rigid body you have seen in 11th standard. So this condition is very much similar to what you have learned in 11th standard. The mechanical equilibrium means no unbalanced forces within the system and between the system, or pressure throughout the system remains the same. Okay. So now let us see about the second type of equilibrium, that is the chemical equilibrium. A system is said to be in a chemical equilibrium when there are no chemical reactions going on within the system, or there is no transfer of matter from one part of the system to the other due to diffusion. A system is in chemical equilibrium when its chemical composition is the same throughout and it does not change with time. Now, after the chemical equilibrium, let us study the third type of equilibrium, that is the thermal equilibrium. So when the temperature of a system is uniform throughout and does not change with time, the system is said to be in thermal equilibrium. Now, once again I will repeat what is the meaning of thermodynamic equilibrium. Now remember, if the system satisfies all these three conditions, then we can say that the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay? So after this, we have to see once again the meaning of thermodynamic state variables. As I have explained you earlier, the same example, take a water in a pot and keep it for boiling, close it with lid. So what will happen after the steam gets formed? The steam will exert the pressure on the lids of the as well as the walls of the vessel. So therefore here the initial pressure, volume and temperature of the system, if you compare with the final pressure, volume and temperature of the system, the two will be different. Now what do you mean by thermodynamic state variables? Every equilibrium state of a thermodynamic system is completely described by a specific values of some macroscopic variables which are called as the state variables. An equilibrium state of a gas is completely described by the values of pressure P, volume V and temperature T and mass M. Okay, so all these are the state variables of the system. Now what is the role of these state variables? The state variables determine the thermodynamic behavior of the system. Now after this is again very important article, that what do you mean by equation of state? Okay, so here the mathematical relation between the state variables, which is called as the equation of state. For example, for an ideal gas, the equation of state is the ideal gas equation. Okay, so therefore, the ideal gas equation is PV, which is equal to nRT. Now here, what do you mean by P? P is the pressure of the gas or a system. V is the volume of the system. N. N means it is the amount of substance. You know the unit, SI unit for amount of substance, it is mole. So N is number of moles of a gas. What is R? R is the universal gas constant and T is the temperature. Okay, so have you understood what do you mean by equation of state? Equation of state is the relation between the three main state variables, because see here in this formula, N, the number of moles of a gas, is a constant. R is the universal gas constant. So what is the equation of state? It gives you the mathematical relation between the three state variables, that is P, V and T. The relation between P, V and T you can describe by a single relation, and that equation is called as the equation of state. And remember, to get the validity of the equation of state, the necessary condition is the system should be in thermodynamic equilibrium so that the equation is valid. Okay, after this, again the important article in the topic thermodynamics, that is about the PV diagram. Now remember, among these three variables P, V and T, remember here any two variables I can change at a time, and the third variable I have to keep it constant. So means what? See here, this is a typical PV diagram which tells you the variation of pressure P along with volume V of a gas. And remember, to study the variation of P with V, what we are doing, the temperature of the gas or a system, we have to keep it constant. So therefore, this PV diagram is also called as isotherm. Now, what do you mean by isotherm? Okay, the pressure volume curve we are studying for a constant temperature, and therefore the curve or the PV diagram is also called as isotherm. Okay, so now what is this PV diagram? What it indicates you? It indicates you the graphical representation of equation of state of a system, that is the gas, and therefore this PV diagram is also called as PV curve. It tells you the behavior of the thermodynamic system. Now I will explain you about the PV diagram. Before that, let us talk about the formula for work done. So what is the total work done? Okay, when the gas gets expanded or when the gas gets compressed. So work done, which is equal to integral of dW, and have you understood the limits of integration? Limits of integration is nothing but the boundary conditions which we are using. For example, suppose before the gas gets expanded, its volume is VI. The initial volume of gas is VI. And after the gas has expanded, the final volume of the gas, it will be VF. And you know the standard formula. This we have seen in the earlier article, that dW is PdV. So the same formula I'm using as we have seen it in the previous article. That is the article which is the derivation for the first law of thermodynamics. So the limits of integration, that is from VI to VF, integral dW, which is integral of PdV. So therefore this is the total work done in the process of expansion. Now let me explain you about the PV diagram. See here, suppose the initial state of the system is A. See the coordinates for the pressure and the volume. So the initial volume of the system is V1 and the initial pressure of the system, it is P1. Now, let the system changes its state from A to B. Okay, so see the final coordinates at B. So, final volume is V2 and final pressure, that is P2. Now, observe P1 and P2. Which one is greater? So, you know here that P1 is greater than P2. And observe the volume. So, volume you can see here from the coordinates of the graph that after the system has gone from state A to B, remember the volume of the gas or the volume of the system increases. So therefore remember, this is the example in which it is the work done by the system which gives you the positive work. Okay, therefore here as V2 is greater than V1 and as P2 is less than P1, here now what is going to happen? That when the system changes its thermodynamic state from A to B, the volume of the gas increases, but the pressure of the gas decreases. So this changes in pressure and volume, remember, they are taking at constant temperature, and therefore the diagram is also called as isotherm. We are studying the graph of P versus V. I told you among these three variables, we have to change only two at a time, and the third variable that is to be kept constant. So here we are keeping now the temperature constant and we are studying the variation of pressure with that of volume. Okay, so this is the PV diagram. Okay, after we study the PV diagram, we have to find out the PV diagram for the positive work and for the negative work. So see here, the same diagram, I can say I am repeating over here. So let V1, V2 are the volume coordinates and let P1, P2, they are the pressure coordinates. And the state of the thermodynamic system, it changes from 1 to 2, as you can see here in the diagram. Now, you have to consider here an important point that work done during the process of expansion is nothing but equal to the area under the curve of the PV diagram. Can you see here some shaded area? So that shaded area is representing you the total amount of work done by the gas or by the system when the system changes its state from 1 to 2. And again, I'm using the same formula instead of Vi and Vf. Suppose the initial volume is V1 and the final volume is V2. So therefore, this integral, it will be integral of V1 to V2 PdV. And remember, this area under the curve, it has to be greater than 0 because here the work done, it will be the positive work. So this is the diagram which indicates you that positive work is done with varying pressure. So at 1, see the coordinates. I can write them V1, P1. What happens at 2? The coordinates, it will be V2, P2. Now you tell me whether the gas has expanded or not. Observe V1 and V2 values. V2 is greater. So therefore here, this is the case of positive work done. Why? Because the gas has expanded as V2 is greater than V1. So therefore, the gas has expanded. But what happens to the pressure? The pressure decreases from P1. P1 it was high, and for P2 it is the low pressure. So when the system has changed its state from 1 to 2, remember here the volume of the gas increases and the pressure of the gas decreases. So therefore, this is the example of a positive work done by the system with varying pressure. And work done is equal to area under the curve for the PV diagram. So therefore, this work done, it will be integral of PdV from the limits V1 to V2, and this integral, it has to be greater than 0. Okay, so this is the first case in which the work done, that is positive. Now let us consider here the second case. It is the negative work with varying pressure. Now see here, initial state of the system, that is at 1. So I will denote here the volume, which is V1, and the pressure, that is P1. So the system has gone from 1 to 2, and the changes in pressure and volume, they are like this. And now you can compare the volume, which volume is greater and which volume is less. So you can see here, the volume of the system decreases when the state is changed from 1 to 2. So therefore, work done, in this case, it will be the negative work. So remember, when the gas gets expanded, you are having here the positive work. And when the gas gets compressed, you get the case where the negative work is done by the gas. So now, work done is equal to the area under the curve. So again, you may see here the shaded region, which will tell you the area, which is representing the net work done when the system has changed its state from 1 to 2. Okay? So see here the third case, very simple, positive work at constant pressure. Observe the pressure right now. Pressure throughout the process is constant. See, the system has changed its state from 1 to 2. See now the coordinates for the volume. V2 is greater than V1. Okay? The volume of the gas or the volume of the system has increased, but the pressure is remaining constant. So therefore here in this case, the amount of work done, it will be the area under the curve. Okay? So therefore work done, which is equal to area, which is equal to P times V2 minus V1, which is greater than 0. So you can see here from these three diagrams that the system can perform different work. When the gas gets expanded, the work done is positive. When the gas is compressed, the work is negative. And here, if the pressure is remaining constant, then we get here the positive work, which is done by the gas at constant pressure. Now after this, here once again the same thing, the area under the curve in the PV diagram is the graphical representation of the integral. Okay, this integral of PdV. Okay, and since the integral represents the work done in changing the volume of the gas, the area under the PV curve also represents the work done in this process. Okay, now after this, we have to see about thermodynamic process. Just now we have seen what is the thermodynamic process? A process by which the initial state of the system which changes to final one. Now just I can refer to the previous diagram. The system has changed the state from 1 to 2, or it may change from 2 to 1. So the process by which the initial state of the system changes to the final state, the process that is called as the thermodynamic process. After this, we have to see about quasi-static systems. Okay, the processes in which the changes in the state variables of a system occur infinitely slowly, they are called as quasi-static systems. Now, in order to understand this, I will give you a simple example that takes some gas or water in a beaker and heat it very slowly, and take the precaution that the gas gets expanded, but the temperature of the gas is remaining constant. I'm talking about the isothermal expansion of a gas. So remember, if you carry out a particular thermodynamic process in which the changes in the state variables, they occur very slowly, then remember, such systems, they are called as quasi-static systems. After this, we have to see about the work done during a thermodynamic process. So here, this is a figure which tells you that the system is changing its state from A to B, but the system is taking three different paths. You can see here from the diagram, there is path 1, by which the system changes from A to B, then path number 2, and again one more path, that is path number 3. So what we have to find out today, or this may be a question in your exam, that prove that work done during a thermodynamic process is depending on the path which is taken by the system. So let us see here about the first path. Now the same diagram here we are doing only with path 1. From the same diagram, I am only drawing the PV diagram for path 1 when the system has changed from state 1 A to state B via path number 1. So here again we are doing the same thing, that area under the curve will be representing you the work. Now see here the shaded area. The shaded area tells you the work which is done in this process. Now can you tell me, is it the process of expansion? Yes, because VF, final volume, is greater than VI. So the gas is going to expand. So this is the path 1. It tells you the process of expansion of a system or a gas when the system has changed from state A to state B. Okay. Now let us consider here path number 2. So if you have noticed from the earlier diagram, I am drawing here the partial diagram for path 2. So what is path 2? The system is going from A to C and then it is going from C to B. Now can you observe for the process AC, okay, to undergo, the pressure of the system is remaining the constant. So first, the volume is changing. You can see here, the initial volume is VI. It has changed to final volume, that is VF. So first, the volume changes at constant pressure. Now after it comes to C, can you observe the path CB? The process CB is occurring at constant volume, but the pressure is changing. Okay. So see here, again the system is going from A to B, but via a different path. I can say here, the process AB is split into 2 paths. The first process is AC and the second part, that is CB. Okay. The first part AC, it is occurring at constant pressure by changing the volume, and the second part is CB, which is occurring at constant volume, but the pressure is changing. Now observe the area under the curve. So as you are aware that work done is equal to area under the curve. So this area, and that in the diagram 1 we have got this area. So if you observe, compare both the areas are different. So here the work done by the system is represented by the area under the curve represented by the shaded region. So work done in this process is represented by the shaded area. So see the shaded area for the C diagram. Now let us consider here the last part, that is path 3. So what is path 3? Here this is some intermediate point, I will call it as D. So first process AD is taken out and then the process DB, that is carried out. So first pressure is decreasing from PI to PF at constant volume, and then the volume increases, see here, from VI to VF at constant pressure. Okay. And now how to find out the work done? So the work done in this process is represented by the shaded area under the curve 3 as it is shown in the figure D. So it is easily noticed that in all these 3 cases, as we have discussed earlier, the amount of work done is not the same. So therefore, you have to draw these 3 diagrams at the time of exam, and you can prove here the answer that work done by when the thermodynamic system changes its state, the work done depends on the path taken by the system. If the system takes different paths, then the different amount of work that will be done by the system. Okay. After this, today we have to see about 2 types of expansions, the isothermal expansion and the free expansion. Now, as the name indicates, isothermal means it is the expansion which is carried out at constant temperature. So when the temperature is kept constant, we can say that the expansion, it will be isothermal expansion. Okay, see here, consider a gas which is filled in a cylinder, and the initial volume of the gas, that is Vi, we are heating it with the help of burner so that the final volume changes from Vi to Vf. But note, in both the cases, the temperature of the gas is remaining same. So therefore, this is the isothermal expansion of the gas. Slowly heat the cylinder so that the temperature is remaining constant, but the volume of the gas increases. So in this case, positive work is done because the case of expansion, heat is absorbed by the system, so Q is greater than 0. So this is the case of isothermal expansion, the first case. Now let us see here the free expansion. So suppose a gas cylinder is kept in some insulating chamber, as it is indicated in the first diagram. Okay, so let the cylinder has two compartments, X and Y. So now the gas is filled in compartment X with same volume as it is indicated in the first diagram, initial volume, that is Vi. And now remember, compartment Y has complete vacuum. Okay, and now here the sum total, if you check, Vf, which is equal to Vi plus Vi dash. And now what we are doing here, between the two compartments X and Y, we are having some breakable partition. So this is some rupturable or breakable partition which is present between the two compartments X and Y. Now suddenly, if that partition is ruptured or broken, then what will happen to the gas which is present in the compartment X? The gas will be having uncontrolled expansion, okay, and it will occupy now the space Y in which earlier the vacuum is present. Now here W is equal to 0, Q is equal to 0, no heat is supplied, no work is done, and now the gas has expanded, it has occupied the entire cylinder, and therefore this is the case of uncontrolled expansion of the gas. Okay. Hello students. Today we have seen about the processes in which the internal energy can be changed. Okay. Isothermal expansion and the uncontrolled expansion, that is the free expansion of a gas. Okay. Thank you.